My name is Elijah David, minister of the 12th Hour Apostolic Sabbatarian Congregation on the 12th Hour in the Liberty Hill, Texas. Today is June 9, 2013, or it is the 4th month, new moon today. We're going to start this service, the first service today with a song entitled When They Ring the Golden Bells. There's a land beyond the river that we call the sweet forever, and we'll only reach that shore by faith's decree. One by one we'll gain the portal, there to dwell with the immortal. When they ring the golden bells for you and me. Don't you hear the bells now ringing? Don't you hear the angels singing? There's a glory, hallelujah, to glory. And that fall sweet forever, just beyond the shining river. They ring the golden bell for you and me. We shall know no sin or sorrow in that haven of tomorrow. When our bark shall sail beyond the silver sea, we shall only know the blessing of our Father's sweet caressing. When they ring the golden bells for you and me. So hear the bells now ringing. Don't you hear the angels singing? There's a glory, hallelujah, to glory. And that fall sweet forever, just beyond the shining river. When they ring the golden bells for you and me. When our days shall know their number, and in death we sweetly slumber, when the King commands the Spirit to be free, evermore with anguish laden, we shall reach that lovely haven. When they ring the golden bells for you and me. Don't you hear the bells now ringing? Don't you hear the angels singing? There's a glory, hallelujah, to glory. And that fall of sweet forever, just beyond the shining river. They ring the golden bell for you and me. Hello everyone, once again this is Elijah David. We're going to bring to you now a series on the Republic of Texas, Part 1, A Righteous Nation under the Yahweh. And actually we should say the Republic of Texas, for the Republic of Texas is with the Yahweh, for Yahweh is our Creator. He's our guide and He's our counselor. He has sent His Son to claim His own, and prophecy has been fulfilled here in Texas. And so therefore we conclude then that this is a predestined land, and I would like to point up to you that we're going to try to educate you a little bit on Texas today. I want to show you some maps of the Republic of Texas. And 1850, this is what the map of Texas looked like. Okay, I'm going to read to you a little bit about it now. It says, Texas became the 28th state to join the Union December 29, 1845. Admitted as a slave state and joined the Confederate States of America February the 1st, 1861. Okay, September the 9th, 1850, the Compromise of 1850, Texas statehood boundaries became established by the United States Congress. The Adams-Onis Treaty served as a basis for the eastern boundary. Okay, now your eastern boundary would be right here. Okay, it says from the mouth of the Sabine River upstream unto the 31st parallel, thence due north to the Red River, and here's your Red River running across here. Now Texas is surrounded by several rivers. Red River on the north, Sabine River on the east, and we have the Colorado River coming out and winding back through Texas here on the west, and then we have the Rio Grande River here on the south, separating Texas and Old Mexico. Now, it says that from the Red River to the 100th meridian, from this junction due north to the 30 parallel, thence west to the 103rd meridian, thence south to the 32nd parallel, thence west to the Rio Grande. The Rio Grande was established as a natural western boundary by the Republic of Texas in 1836. All territorial claims beyond the boundaries so outlined were ceded to the United States, which became part of the established territories of the New Mexico and Utah Territory. The state of California was then admitted as the 31st state of the Union. Now they're saying that these boundaries of Texas were ceded to the United States. I want to tell you that that is incorrect. Texas has never ceded her territory to the United States. So therefore, all she has to do is have the governor not sign the treaty once a year to stay part of the Union, of the United States. If he refuses to sign the treaty any given year, then Texas automatically reverts back to a sovereign nation, a republic. So, now, I want to show you some boundary lines of Texas, 1836. Okay, now, pay attention. On my right here, we have the boundary lines. Texas going way up into the Midwest, going through Oklahoma and Kansas and taking in Missouri and all the way up into Wyoming, almost to the Canadian border. Texas had this much property for her nation. In 1836, when she became, with her Declaration of Independence and signing and writing the Constitution, she became a sovereign nation. All right, now, I'll read to you about that. It says, in 1836, the Republic of Texas, the Declaration of Independence of Mexico on March 2, 1836, added stimulus to the Texas Revolution. 7 weeks later, on April the 21st, 1836, at the Battle of the San Jacinto, Texas became a republic, meaning a nation. She was a nation before then, but she was only identified as a territory. Okay, it says United States annexed the Republic of Texas in 1845. Texas became the 28th state of the Union on December 29, 1845. Okay. So the Republic of Mexico, that was in charge of this great land of Texas, right here, the Republic of Mexico down here, is in charge of here. It says the Republic of Mexico won her independence from Spain on September 27, 1821. As a result of the lengthy Mexican Revolution, which began on September the 16th, 1810. Now, so Mexico used to be controlled by Spain, and she had a revolution, and she got her independence from Spain, 1810. And now Texas comes along and get their independence from Mexico, 1836. Now, you might be interested to know that a man by the name of Moses Austin crossed the Red River, actually came in from Missouri, north of Texas, in 1820. And he went and visited Mexico's capital and talked to the president and wanted to be able to colonize Texas for Mexico. And so the idea was born in 1820. Moses Austin, now pay close attention. Moses, children of Israel, coming out of Egypt, crossing the Red Sea. Moses Austin, coming out of Missouri, crossing the Red River, come in to colonize Texas. Okay, think about it. Now, it says right here, in 1850, Texas 1850, it says the Texas Declaration of Independence from Mexico was initiated March the 2nd, 1836. The fall of the Alamo on March the 6th added stimulus to the Texas Revolution and hastened the birth of a new republic. The Texas American victory at the Battle of San Jacinto over the Mexican army and General Santa Anna, President of Mexico, on April the 22nd, 1836, was the culmination of the revolution. The Treaty of Velasco, documented and ratified on May the 14th, 1836, recognized Texas as a free and independent republic. And it goes on to say in 1845, the annexation of the Republic of Texas, the United States annexed the Republic of Texas on December 29, 1845, and it became the 28th state. So the thing is, they call it annexation, but it was actually a joint resolution of Congress, which was unconstitutional, and they took Texas in as a under captive nation status, just a captive nation. Couldn't actually legally make it a state, because the international law says that one nation, especially if it's a bankrupt nation, and the United States was a bankrupt nation at that time. The United States, ever since she was formed in about 1787 at the Constitutional Convention and the birth of this country, has always been in a bankrupt status, 70 years at a time. Sometimes I'll explain to you how it works here, but the international law says you cannot, and the Constitution also says you cannot take one nation and annex another nation. The only way that you can take that over another nation is by an act of war. So now, But sometimes we'll get into a series of study of this here Texas because it's in prophecy, and you folks that are following us today understand that there's more to prophecy than just the fulfillment of it in the Middle East. The Western Hemisphere is very much involved in the fulfillment of prophecy in our day. And Texas, this here republic, this righteous nation that's coming forth, represents Israel and in the Western Hemisphere here in the United States. Okay, this is where New Jerusalem is born, right here. And we live right over in here, in the Austin, Texas area, here in Texas. Now let's see. Okay, there's another map of Texas in 1836, maybe a little larger map. I've already shown this to you. But it says, well, there's a lot of little writing on here. We won't go into that. Let's now get into Texas being reborn in our day. Now, I want to tell you that we at Gilead Center in 1996 joined a new movement for the reclaiming of the Republic of Texas by a group of people here in Texas. And here is a publication of a magazine that a newspaper people volunteered to join the Republic of Texas and become our publishers for our magazine for the Republic of Texas being reborn today. And so we have these magazines that we saved, and Brother Johnson and the Gilead Center, we joined the Republic of Texas movement in 1896. And there's quite a story about all of that, what happened with us involved with the Republic of Texas. And so they were needing a spiritual leader, and so Brother Johnson volunteered to join them and be their spiritual leader. Only part of the Republic of Texas people accepted him, others didn't, but nevertheless, that's how come we got involved with the Republic of Texas, because it's very much fulfilling the prophecy of bringing forth this righteous nation according to Deuteronomy 4, and I'll read it to you right now. It says, starting in verse 5, Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgment, even as the Yahweh my Elohim commanded me, that you should do so in the land whether you go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, Surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. For what nation is there so great, who hath Elohim so nigh unto them as the Yahweh Elohim is in all things that we call upon him for? And what nation is there so great that has statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law which I set before you this day? Now Texas is going to become the greatest nation in the world, even before Israel is reborn over there in the land in the Middle East. Texas is going to emerge as the #1 most powerful, righteous nation in the world. And this is where we're at, folks. And so, you know, it says in Jeremiah 33:3, it says, Call unto me, and I will answer thee. I believe that's right. And I will show you great and mighty things that thou knowest not. Well, what does that mean? I'll turn to it and read it. It says, Call unto me, and I will answer thee, and show thee great and mighty things which thou knowest not. For thus saith Yahweh, the Elohim of Israel, concerning the houses of this city and concerning the houses of the kings of Judah, which are thrown down by the mountains and by the sword. Now, we represent the house of Judah, the house of David. The prophecy mandated that it should meet its fulfillment here in Texas, not in the land of Israel in these last days. We're contemporary with the land of Israel. We have our parallel. Right here where we live right now, Austin, Texas area, runs right directly as a crow flies, straight as an arrow. We're on the 34th meridian with Israel and Jerusalem. Runs right. Our location here runs right straight east to the heart of Jerusalem. We're on the same meridian. Okay, so it says that call unto him, and he'll show us great and mighty things thou knowest not. But he started showing Mount Zion at the 11th hour, Gilead Center, some great and mighty things in 1996. Now, while we were at a meeting in Greenville, about 1997, Texas, for the Republic of Texas, at that time, Brother Johnson had a son named David, the one that died in 1999. And in 1997, David got in with the Republic of Texas, and he became the president of the Republic of Texas, a faction of it. There was about 4 different factions at that time. David became the president of one faction of the Republic of Texas. So anyway, David, acting as a provisional president with a provisional government, which is temporary, it wasn't constitutional, but nevertheless, before they could Republic of Texas could reform again and get up a committee to write a constitution, they had to form a provisional government first. And so David Johnson, Rose's son, became one of the presidents of one of the factions of the Republic of Texas. Now, in this magazine that's written by this man that joined us, that owned the newspaper in Post, Texas, Republic of Texas, he did a magnanimous job in publishing these magazines and writing real wonderful articles. It says that here on page 10, I'm going to go right to the point. It says, many people seem to be under the delusion that the provisional government operates under the Constitution. Okay, now talking about the Constitution of Texas. That was written in 1836 by our forefathers. And this man answering the question, it says, this point goes to the heart of the question about the foundational authority of the provisional government. If the provisional government was formed as a result of a convention, then it obviously must follow the authority granted unto it by the convention. If, however, the provisional government, keep in mind the provisional government is just a temporal, it's just a temporal arrangement to form a committee to write a constitution. And when you have a constitution, it means that it's permanent. Provisional means it's temporal. The two are separate one from the other. Okay, if, however, the provisional government was formed prior to the convening of a convention, then it must be held accountable unto a stated authority for forming a provisional government. It should be clear that without a constitutional basis for the forming and some form of control by the people, that any number of provisional governments might claim to be represent the people. And that's exactly what happened. There had been at least about 3 or 4 provisional governments formed from 1996 to 1997. and they would always oust the president, and faction would break off, go form another republic on a provisional government. David Johnson was one of those. He went and joined one of those factions that broke off from the main body, and so he became the president of the Republic of Texas. Okay? It appears that is exactly what happened to the citizens meeting in the College Station. Now let's go back. For the provisional government of 1835, by our forefathers, they did the same thing. When they were coming together wanting to write a constitution, they had to form a provisional government just to get organized and get going. So we had our forefathers do this in 1835. So that was obviously formed before the Constitution of 1836 was written. The only reference to Constitution in the 1835 plans and powers was to the Constitution of Mexico. And that was where members of the provisional government swore to uphold the principles of that Constitution. They were not bound by this Constitution, but merely recognized the principles such as freedom and the political power of the people to have a free society. When the Constitution for the Republic of Texas was written in 1836, it created another form of government, a permanent government. Now keep in mind, when you write a Constitution, that's what happened with the United States. In 1787, they wrote a Constitution, and it has stood until now. It's for a permanent government, but it's been modified and it's been eroded, and it has just been trampled underfoot. It hasn't been destroyed, but it's been trampled underfoot, just like the sanctuary was trampled underfoot during the Dark Ages. It wasn't destroyed, but it was trampled underfoot. Okay, so now it says, when the Constitution for the Republic of Texas was written, it created another form of government, a permanent government, and did away with the provisional government. Well, that's what they were doing in 1997 when David was the president of the faction of the provisional government that he had set up. Well, then David went and wrote a constitution, or got somebody's constitution that had written before, and modified it and called it his constitution. And then that's what we were doing at Greenville that day, and I believe in 1997, having a meeting so David could establish his constitution and a permanent government for Vertus Johnson and Gilead Center. He was representing Gilead Center, and he was representing us to establish a permanent constitution, a permanent government for the Republic of Texas. This is the right procedure, but that was for me to do at the appointed time to bring forth a constitution for the Republic of Texas. Now I've got to write a constitution, because this Republic of Texas is about to come forth for real, but it's got to have a real constitution. Now the constitution that I'm going to write is going to be taken from the law of Moses. It will be the law of Moses. I'm not going to add anything to it. I'm not going to take anything away from it. All I'm going to do is bring it up to date. And I'm going to show where it fits with Texas as being this righteous nation that is following the same laws that Israel followed in her day when they were under the law of Moses. Okay, so now this is what will make, and so I'm gonna say that the Constitution for the sovereign nation of Texas, righteous nation, has already been written. All I'm going to do is just, like I say, upgrade it to dates and so forth, and show when this nation came forth. This nation will come forth and emerge it will emerge at the same time that the 144,000 and the Lamb stands on the Mount Zion. This will be synchronized. Perfect timing. Okay, now, here is a article that Jeff Teleska was a little Jewish fellow. And he had visions and dreams. And we don't know if he was a Sabbath keeper or what, but he was invited to be our keynote speaker that day at Greenville, Texas. And he spoke to us for 3 hours. He brought this article. And he says, anybody can have a copy of that wanted it. And then he brought the balm of Gilead, the black salve, and introduced it to it. He said an angel that showed him the formula in a dream. He said anybody took it and used it, they would be healed of anything wrong with them. And I would say to you, Jeff White, have faith in it for your wife. You might be amazed by giving your wife this your balm of Gilead black salve. Because keep in mind that the number one thing when it was tested in a laboratory, the black salve, the balm of Gilead, it killed every virus on contact. And so therefore, any disease you have in your body has a virus that's connected with it. Keep that in mind. So you might be amazed, it won't hurt anything to give your wife some balm of Gilead. Follow the directions. Okay. Now, Jeff Teleska brought this article, and he gave us a speech for 3 hours. Lotus Johnson was sitting right up on the front row, right in front of him, and his wife, Laura Mary Johnson. My wife and I were sitting over more to the end on the side. And he brought just 2 samples, or 2 little jars of black salve and 2 little samples. Laura Mary Johnson got 1 jar of the black salve, and one of the members of our congregation got the other one. My wife and I got a little sample in a plastic bag. And so we took it home, and I had a red bump on the end of my chin, and I put it on there one day, and it swelled up the whole side of my face. So I realized that I had a problem myself, and I needed that balm of Gilead. Well, it ended up taking care and healing me all right. But I had some terrible sores rise up. So Brother Johnson and Laura Mary didn't do anything with the black salve to promote healing among the people. So therefore my wife and I felt impressed to take it over, and we took over the black salve, and the rest is history. We've been putting it out for 15 years. We've reached thousands upon thousands of people with it around the world. Has been healed with this black salve that we sent around the world for the last 15 years. Now, this is our entering wedge to our ministry worldwide. It is the balm of Gilead. And what was so strange is Jeff Teleska said that angel told him in a vision to name that black salve the balm of Gilead. He said it was biblical. And so you find the balm of Gilead in the scripture. And that's how it all came about. So we felt like that was a divine intervention, and that my wife and I felt the calling to use that product and to start us a healing ministry for the people. And lo and behold, it turned right in, tied right within our ministry now that we have today. So I'm going to read to you a little bit about what Jeff Teleska said about this Republic of Texas and prophecy. In the very beginning of our country, we were a people of common ancestry with shades of differences. I believe there were 3 main sections, each alike for the most part, and yet having slight differences in their thinking, land, and professions. First, there was a bulk of the people that were urban, sea-trading, mercantile, industrial, city dwellers that tended to be reserved, cold, somber, puritanical, and yet could produce the feminine characteristics of the emphatic compassion and a leader like the Abe Lincoln, General Omar, the soldier, and Bradley or U.S. Grant, who had to drink himself into a stupor between battles. The second section was more cavalier, aristocratic, agricultural, landed, and slave-owning, aloof men of war, valiant, honorable, and sometimes cruel. This section produces men like George Washington, General George Blood and Guts Patton, or a Robert E. Lee who ordered the suicidal Pickett's charge at Gettysburg without a second thought. And finally, there is a third section. These are the pioneers, frontier, cattle-owning ranchers, very similar to the second section in many ways, also agriculture, hardy, and even militaristic. These men are a separate, or renegade people, a lone star, so to speak. These produce people like Colonel Will Travis, the leader of the defending of the Alamo, where we first Texas started winning its independence from Mexico. Jim Bowie, Sam Houston, Stephen Austin, R.A. Davy Crockett, and his boys off the Tennessee Hills, as played by John Wayne in the movie The Alamo. Each of these sections are separate, and yet each knows they are part of a greater whole. They share language, ideals, faults, heraldic devices, everything that makes our people the same. Okay, it says, it's obvious to me that I'm referring to the birth and history of this American nation. With all the sectionalism that George Washington warned us about in his farewell address. The great nation led into the wilderness of the New World to be a light unto the nations. This great republic formed out of the Plymouth in New England, and Jamestown in the south, and spread westward in the manifest destiny to where out came a third people, the Republic of Texas. Each section is distinct in flavor and yet part of a whole. Texas was the only recognized independent country before joining the Union. More on that later. For the North, South, and Texas fought out their differences in the Civil War, and the Union was forcibly reinstated. But I do not refer to the United States of America at all, but to a much earlier time. In the various churches of the Elohim, today it is generally accepted that the United States of America is the 13th tribe of the Israel. Manasseh, if there is so. Okay, let's do that again. In the various churches of what they call the churches of God, today it is generally accepted that the United States of America is the 13th tribe of Israel. Manasseh, if this is so, then the Bible possibly would have told us our national history in advance. So let's look back at the historical record to determine if we are Manasseh, and what meaning does this have for the assembly today and in the immediate future, and more importantly, does the Bible give clues and hints as to where the assembly should flee to during the Great Tribulation, if America is the modern descendants of Manasseh, and I believe the northerner, southerner, and Texican can be compared unto the Manassites and the Macharites and the Gileadite of our Bible that straddled the promised land on both sides of the Jordan. I believe the tribe of the Manasseh and the two major clans of the Machir and Gilead are the three major divisions of the United States of America. Now keep in mind, he mentions Gilead as one of the three parts that makes up America. Texas is that where Gilead's home is found. That's what inspiration gave Lourdes Johnson to name our center, Gilead Center. Okay, so it said the three major divisions of the Texas of the states of America during the War of Texas Independence. The Texans were massacred at Gilead. During the Civil War, there were two battles of the Manasseh. Okay, during the Civil War, there's two battles of the Manasseh. If you're not familiar with the America is Manasseh idea, there are several free booklets offered by the various churches of the Elohim that go into this subject in more detail. Right for America and Britain in Policy by the Raymond McNair from the Global Church of the Elohim, P.O. Box 50111. Of course, those addresses are obsolete today, so I'm not going to give you any more information on that. Let us continue on. We're going to continue on here with our little article by Jeff Teleska. There are also many extra, see, for the understanding of the beginning of America, we must first find our family tree. We must go back to the beginning. Genesis, see the Adam and Eve tree chart available from the Good Things Company, Door Inn, Norman, Oklahoma. If any country on earth has forgotten its long history, it's America. Manasseh. Strong Concordance means forgetting. Joseph 41:51. Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh. For the Yahweh has made me forget all my toil and all my father's house. And was a son of the Joseph and brother of the Ephraim, Genesis 46:20. And under Joseph in the land of Egypt were born Manasseh and Ephraim, whom Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On, bore to him. Under Joseph were given the double portion birthright, physical blessing, that the Ephraim and Manasseh would co-inherit, Genesis 48:4. And said unto me, Behold, I will make you fruitful and multiply you, and I will make of you a multitude of people, and give this land unto your descendants after you as an everlasting possession. That's in Genesis 48:19. But his father refused, said, I know, my son, I know, he also shall be great, but truly his younger brother, Ephraim, shall be greater than he, and his descendants shall become a multitude of nations. Genesis 49:22-26. Joseph is a fruitful bough by wealth. His branches run over the wall. The archers had bitterly grieved him, shot at him and hated him. But his bow remained in strength, and the arms of his hands were made strong by the hands of the mighty Elohim of the Jacob. And there is the shepherd, the stone of Israel. By the Elohim of your father, who will help you, and by the Almighty, who will bless you with the blessings of the heaven above, blessings of the deep that lies beneath, blessings of the breast and of the womb. The blessings of your father have excelled the blessings of my ancestors up unto the utmost bound of the everlasting hills. Okay, we represent here in Texas the utmost bounds of the everlasting hills. They shall be on the head of the Joseph, and on the crown of the head of him who was separate from his brothers. Deuteronomy 33. 13 to 17. And of the Joseph, he said, Blessed of the Yahweh is his land, with the precious things of the heaven, with the dew and the deep lying beneath, with the precious fruits of the sun, with the precious produce of the mouth of the months, with the best things of the ancient mountains, with the precious things of the everlasting hills, with the precious things of the earth and its fullness, and the favor of him who dwelt in the bush. Let the blessings come on the head of Joseph, and on the crown of the head of him who was separate from his brothers. His glory is like a firstborn bull, and his horns are like the horns of the wild ox. Together with whom he shall push the people unto the ends of the earth. They are the 10,000s of the Ephraim, and they are the thousands of the Manasseh. 1 Chronicles 5, 1 and 2. Now the sons of the Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, he was indeed the firstborn, but because he defiled his father's bed, his birthright was given unto the sons of Joseph, the son of Israel, so that the genealogy is not listed according unto the birthright. Yet Judah prevailed over his brothers, and from him came a ruler. Although the birthright was Joseph, that's in Joseph Strong, in Concordance 31:30, was a prosperous man, whose name means adding, Genesis 30:24. So she called his name Joseph and said, Yahweh shall add unto me another son. And that's in Genesis 39:2-4. Yahweh was with the Joseph, and he was a successful man, and he was in the house of his master, the Egyptian, and his master saw that the Yahweh was with him, and that the Yahweh made all he did to prosper in his hand. Strong recorded means double fruit, Genesis 41:52. And the name of the second he called Ephraim, for Yahweh has caused me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction. This was going to be a very blessed tribe and a blessed nation, Israel. For the family of Manasseh is found in Numbers 26, 28, 34. The sons of Joseph according unto their families, by the Manasseh and Ephraim were the sons of Manasseh of Machir, the family of the Machirites and Machir. We got Gilead. Now let's continue on here. We have a genealogy here of Abraham. Isaac is the promised seed, descendant of him. Jacob is the promised seed of Isaac. Joseph is the promised seed of Jacob. Manasseh and Ephraim came from Joseph down in Egypt. Machir came from Manasseh and Gilead. And Ephraim had 4. He had Shedelet, Beecher, and Tehan. And Shedelet had Eram. Okay, Gilead had Jezer, Helek, Asriel, Shechem, Shemitah, and Heper. And Heper had Zelophehad, and Zelophehad had daughters, Mahlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. Okay, now it says Gilead, the family of the, it says, and Machir begat Gilead, of the Gilead, the family of the Gileadites. These are the sons of Gilead, of Jezer, the family of the Jezreelites, of Helek, the family of the Helekites, and Asriel, the family of the Asrielites, and Shechem, the family of the Shechemites, and Shemitah, the family of the Shemitites, and of Heper, the family of the Heperites, and 1 Chronicles 7, 14-19. The descendants of Manasseh, his Syrian concubine, bore him Machir, the father of Gilead, the father of Asriel. Machir took as his wife the sister of Huppim and Shupim, whose name was Maacah. The name of Gilead's grandson was Zelophehad, but Zelophehad begot only daughters. Maacah, the wife of Machir, bore a son, and she called his name Peresh. The name of his brother was Sheresh, and his sons were Ulam and Rakim. The son of Ulam was Bedan. These were the descendants of the Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh. His sister Hameleketh bore Ishhad, Abiezer, and Mala. And the sons of Shemitah were Ayan and Shechem and Lachi and Nanaim. The tribe was called the Manassites after their father, which is equated by Davidi with the Massagate east of the Capsian, a Gothic group. But a son Machir, a grandson, a Gilead, great and great-grandchildren formed semi-independent clans and dependent sub-clans inside the tribe. Machir was the only son of Manasseh, of which the Machirites Joseph saw Ephraim's children unto the third generation. The children of Machir, the son of Manasseh, were also brought up on Joseph's knees. Machir is in the Strong, they give you a number here, please. Look it up in the Strong Concordance. Okay. Now it goes on to say, Davidi equates Machir with Kanda, Maruka, and Gioa, all east of the Caspian Sea. The Makron of South Iran, Skyida Marika, and then given to the Mercians, which means the Scyths from Maruka east of the Caspian, Marcia known on the continent as Maringus, and an important element among the Goths and the Anglo-Saxons. According to Davidi, the name Machir became, after a simple letter of permutation, the name America, which therefore may be understood as meaning land of Machir. Okay, now America is born from this. Manasseh's grandson, Gilead, was the father of a separate Gileadite town. Most scriptures have maps that show the land of Gilead on the eastern shore of the Jordan River. Gilead's Strong, in the Strong Concordance number 1568, is a region east of the Jordan, also the name of the three Ish, Gilead, and Gileadite. We have the Strong Concordance given numbers here identifying all this. Let's go on down. Davidi equates Gilead with the Galate in Gaul, France. The Galati, the name of Galadin in Wales, and Caledonians in Scotland. An entire New Testament epistle was written unto the Galatians in the Asia Minor. Peter also wrote unto Israel in Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia, which is just west of the Parthia, the northern half of Asia Minor, modern Turkey. 1 Peter 1 month, an apostle of Yahshua, the Messiah, unto the pilgrims of the dispersion in Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia. Okay. Strabo, the geographer, named the colonists in North Asia white Syrians instead of the Assyrians Israel. Diodorus of Sicily, a Greek writer in the time of Yahshua, recognized the non-Greek new people living in North Asia Minor. Many conquered people were removed to other homes, and 2 of these became very great colonies. The one was composed of the Assyrians and was removed to the land between the Paphlagonia and Pontus, and the other was drawn from Media and planted along the Tanais. The river Don is in the ancient Scythia, modern Ukraine, north of the Black Sea, in South Russia. Now it goes on to say here, Gilead has 6 sons, each a family name found in the Manasseh tribe. Jezer, Hebrew, Abiezer, or Azir, meaning father of help, from which came the Jezerites, whom David equates with the Agaristi, who became Khazars, who converted to Judaism, and the pick of the Scotland, Helic, meaning portions, from which came the Helikites, equated by David with the Helicones, which moved from Germany to Britain, and the Helicones, which moved from Germany to the west. Azrael, meaning light of the Elohim, from which came the Azraelites, equated by David would be with Isra and Emodian mountains in Scythia. The legendary place of the sojourn of the angels, Saxons, and Frisians, Frisians, the RC, which moved from West Scythia to Scandinavia, and Surrey and Saxon England. Now I know this don't mean anything to y'all, it don't hardly mean a whole lot to me, other than it tells about these people breaking off and making their way to America, and how Manasseh, Gilead, and Ephraim made their way to America, and how Gilead also, because they were grandsons of Manasseh. And so we're going to bring this study to a close now, and we will continue on in our next study. It'll get better as we go along, because we're going to show you how Texas is in prophecy. She's coming forth right now to be a righteous nation and to be contemporary with Israel. So it says, on Jordan's stormy banks, we're going to close this service with. On Jordan's stormy banks I stand, and cast a wistful heart to Canaan's fair and happy land, where my possessions lie. I am bound for the promised land, yes I am bound for the promised land. Oh, who will come and go with me? I'm bound for the promised land. For all those wide extended plains shines one eternal day. The young sun forever reigns and scatters night away. I'm bound for the promised land, yes I am bound for the promised land. Oh, who will come and go with me? I am bound and sorrow, pain and